Thank you for checking out Cars, Shops, and Collections. And it was 46 years ago this month that the legendary Smokey and the Bandit hit theaters. And we're gonna honor that legendary film and that iconic car by checking out a Pontiac Trans Am Bandit Edition tribute car. And Dr. Alamo is the owner. It's in a hangar here at the airport. So we're just waiting on Dr. Alamo to go check out that wicked car. Oh, there it is. Today's episode, 1992 Ford pickup truck. This is where we need CBs. So I met Dr. Alamo, this is the first time we're meeting in person. I met Dr. Alamo through Will, who we did his Camaro last summer. Penny, remember Penny, the red and white Camaro? Woo-hoo-hoo! Dang. Let's meet Dr. Alamo, and I'm feeling the Trans Am's right around the corner. Holy, there it is. Oh my gosh, man.
So let me see the car above?
Yeah.
You recognize that car?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I had that car for a number of years.
Oh my gosh, this is spectacular, man.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tony Alamo, and today I'm going to show you the Bandit.
Well, officially, Dr. Alamo, thank you so much for having us. I appreciate
thank
it.
you for coming over.
This is great, man.
This.
This is going to be a treat. Okay, first off, the Bandit Trans Am. How did you fall in love with this car?
Okay, so yeah, this is a function of age,
yeah.
Right? So I went to high school between 78 and 82, freshman in 78, graduating in 82, and remember that era. You're too young to remember, but that era, there were a lot of car TVs that kind of showed cars, right? What were they? Remember the two detectives, Starsky and Hutch?
Yep.
Starsky and Hutch, which you see right
there.
there.
Yeah, your last car?
My last car. That was a very popular detective show that later on the car became part of the story. And then during that time, remember the movie Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was in 77, then you had the sequel in 78, 79, and that was, I fell in love with the Trans Am then. Remember the A-Team?
Oh yeah.
The A-Team van, we're gonna build one of those too.
I love it, yes.
So, but I always, I had the Starsky and Hutch, the Gran Torino, had it for a few years, ended up selling it at an auction, didn't like the way it drove, but the Smokey and the Bandit was my passion. The Trans Am, and what we have here is a 1979 original body with a 77 nose, because I love that eagle's beak. And we took this car, and what we did was we basically off-frame resto remod with everything brand new. Now this was done with one guy in particular. He's an artist, and this gentleman who works kind of from his house, and he works in his friend's shops. I met him. It was funny how I met him. He was so charming. He charmed me into doing this. Took him about a year and a half, and he went through and he just kind of said, look, this is what, if you want this car, I'm going to build you a brand new Bandit. 1977 nose, 79 body, but brand new, daily driver. I said, I challenge you to do that. And that gentleman's right here. It's Walter Martinez.
Walter, hey, incredible. You are an artist, man. This is a piece of work. This is beautiful. Okay, let's talk about the car a little bit more here. So it's the body itself is a 79, but we want the original Smokey and the Bandit, so you get the 77 nose to put on the car. Where do you find a 77 nose?
That's okay. I'm going to let Walter talk about this, because Walter, he took this thing from the very beginning. He drove to Bakersfield. I couldn't get out of work.
Yeah.
So he drove to Bakersfield, and we'll show you pictures of how this car started. It's phenomenal. It was destroyed. So we went to Bakersfield, and he tracked everything down. Walter, tell the story.
Where do you get the nose?
So the nose I got from a guy named John DeLorean. He specializes in these cars. He's back in Tennessee. And all he does is Trans Ams these years, 77 to 81, that's his thing. So we found one that was original, because the aftermarket stuff, we actually bought a brand new one, and the new stuff just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Worth anything. You fit them up and everything just doesn't line up well. So we ended up buying a brand new nose, same money, had it shipped, and of course the original stuff always works out way better.
And so this is brand new?
That's an original nose off a 78 car.
Okay.
So we had that shipped on a pallet from Tennessee. Got to us, it was in perfect shape. I mean, a couple things I had to fix on the bottom that nobody would ever see, but
You have it shipped like 9 days to get here?
yeah, it took 3 days.
Bandit reference. Let's close the hood here. The Screaming Chicken, you put the decal on? How hard, that's gotta be one of the hardest car decals to put on, is the Screaming Chicken, to put that on. How hard was it to put on the hood?
Tell the story.
Okay,
That's
so
a funny story.
a good buddy of mine, Will Irwin, man, I love this guy. He's a car guy too, and I said, man, I need some help with this damn sticker. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's too big. You can't. It's not a one-man job.
No, it's not.
You know, so
one little move and the thing is off.
yeah. So you wet down the hood with solution, soap and water, and he's holding this thing, and I'm having to spray the back of it. And I was telling Tony, 'cause it's wintertime, we're in my garage, and I'm spraying him down with like soapy water, and he's like holding the sticker like this, just kind of getting wet. You know what I mean? So I ended up slapping it on. You have a little bit of grace period fitting it up and getting where you want. Of course, I had it taped up where I needed it beforehand. So him and I knew, we took a lot of measurements, probably about an hour worth of deciding where it was going to look best. And we had tape marks here, there, and on the other side. So once we set it down, it wasn't too bad.
It's lined up perfectly. Because Smokey and the Bandit, this is the car. Smokey and the Bandit 2, so I love Smokey and the Bandit. Burt Reynolds, the Bandit, when you see the car for the first time, it comes out of the trailer, it just grabs you. You go to Smokey and the Bandit 2, Burt Reynolds, he's drunk, he lost Frog, a little out of shape. They get the new car, it's an awesome Trans Am, but it's not the same as the original.
This is what I wanted. But the key was, remember, the original Trans Am had an engine that only put out about 185 horsepower. And in fact, the scene that goes over the bridge, they had to retro that car. They had to put a bit different, bigger engine in it because it couldn't launch far enough. So that car isn't a stock Trans Am. And they destroyed a bunch of them too.
Three of them.
Yeah, but so keep that in mind. So I wanted modern power.
Yeah.
So the engine we put in here is an LT1, which is what C7 Corvettes have. That LT1 puts out 490 horses at 490 torque. And so it rides like a Corvette C7.
Daily driver with a lot of power.
Daily drive, a lot of power.
Come around the interior here. Also too, in Smokey and the Bandit, the engine sound, it's not a Trans Am.
It's not a Trans Am.
They use was it Chevy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different. Talk to me about the interior, Walter.
So Walter, talk about the interior.
The interior, oh my goodness. All right, so where do we start?
Oh my gosh, these seats are spectacular.
So this car being a T-top car, you know, Tony was adamant about putting some kind of roll bar in here in case this thing ever flipped. And I didn't want to do it. I was dead set against this thing. I hated it. It's like, basically, you don't have a back seat.
Yeah.
You know, so we made it look, for all intents and purposes, we had to modify the door panels. Everything back here is modified to fit, so I could wrap the interior around this, because he needed it.
Yeah.
So, God forbid he ever takes a tumble, he's going to be okay.
This kind of power, sure.
4-point seat restraints, mimic what he's got in his aircraft. The seats were brand new. He didn't like the seats. They weren't good enough. And we had to open them up. We put new foam in them. We custom tailored the seats to his body. With brand new foam and brand new leather. We wrapped them again.
Did everyone get that? Custom seats to your body, Dr.
Yeah,
Alamo?
well, you know, I'm not that thin guy I used to be back in the 70s, right?
I wonder if Burt Reynolds had those same demands. I want the Trans Am custom seats.
In 40 years and a couple of pounds, we need to open those seats up.
Dash here, this is the original.
That's
dash.
all original. We modified the gauges with decoded, we upgraded them to decoded digital gauges. The air conditioning is, vintage air conditioning. It's pretty much what all the car guys use these days. Retro sound radio, it's an original look, but brand new.
CB radio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
CD. No, I'm sorry, not CD. I think it said CD. I'm like,
CD?
You know what? That's the one thing I should put in there, and I should grab that mic and say, Snowman, yup.
Yep. Did you know that Jerry Reed was originally going to play the Bandit?
Did not know that.
Until they got Burt Reynolds to take the part.
Did not know that.
I wonder how the movie would have been. I think Jerry Reed was a superstar, country superstar. It still would have had.
I'm going to give you another trivia about that movie. The dog Fred.
Yeah.
You know how that dog, you notice in the movie, the dog never really does any tricks, doesn't seem to follow commands.
Yep.
Most of the time Jerry Reed is interacting with the dog's just walking off camera. The reason why that dog made the movie, which they were looking at many different dogs, and the trainer could not get that dog to do anything. And Burt Reynolds was there, and he said, that's the dog we need in the movie. He doesn't follow commands. And that's how the dog ended up there. And you'll see the dog really does nothing. He's really, when they do have him, he kind of walks off the camera.
Yeah, he does. The dog stresses me out. He jumps in that lake at one point.
And he doesn't come back.
No, he does. He goes swimming out.
And that was the reason Burt wanted that dog in there, because he followed no commands.
The car's Walter, your work here, the car's in spectacular shape.
You know what? We still got some stuff
Gas
we're gonna
cap still
do.
back here?
Yeah. there. And we're working on some little stuff for Tony. We're gonna do a custom trunk enclosure. Little mods, stuff that weren't factory. Just trying to give him, what the factory car would have been, but with a nice shot of steroids. That's what
exactly.
Essentially, I think that's what this car is. It has the movie look, because he was adamant about having that, and I had to give him that no matter what, and we got that. But I far superseded that. I know we did, because we talked about what he wanted. We spoke in length about what he was gonna do with the car. This wasn't just me picking out what I wanted. I said, what exactly are your plans for the car? You're gonna drive it to spring mounts and you're gonna race this thing up and down, big bear, windy hills. None of that. He's gonna daily drive it. So now the onus is on me to make it comfortable. I gotta make it comfortable for his wife to like it, so he can go out. If she doesn't like it, they're not gonna, you know what I mean? I failed, basically.
Well, Walter did not believe I was gonna have the daily driver. He thought, oh, it's gonna be a hangar queen. I said, you don't get it. I need this comfortable. I need a comfortable ride. I need power to get on the freeways. I'm driving it to work every day.
What are the looks you get driving this? Because this is this, in my opinion, is the most iconic muscle car of all time, from TV and movies. There's so many other great cars. We talked about Knight Rider, 18, Fast and the Furious has so many cars, but this is the one. Even if you're not a car fan, everyone sees this car, they know Smokey and the Bandit right away.
It's amazing. I'm lucky. I've had many cars. And I drive a Hummer, and I've had a lot of nice cars in my life, and of course the Starsky and Hutch, right? But I got to tell you, this car gets more reaction from everybody, every walk of life, from this car. And I'm talking about people who are, if they're older like me, they'll say things like, I used to have a car like that, or if they're young, my father had a car like that. Again, male or female. Some people don't even know the movie because they're so young.
Yes.
The car attracts them. They go, wow, what is that car? And they come in, they want to talk about it.
Yep.
So it's an amazing, I think they did a great job with the look, and of course Hollywood helped it. But I think the car did it a lot on its own. It's just a great looking car.
Well, after the movie, sales increased by 70%. This car is so popular that the Gen 3 Trans Am Firebird is pushed back 2 years because they're selling like hotcakes. They can't stop selling them. Tell me the story again. You and I were talking before. The story about you're driving the car around town. You stop to get gas. A man approaches you, and what does he say?
Yeah, this is a true story. So, I never like to get gas late at night because it's obviously you got to be situationally aware, right? But I was running low on gas, and so I stopped. Something I rarely do. And there's nobody around. It's one of those gas stations that just wasn't frequented very much. And a car comes by, dark windows, can't see in. Comes by real slow. And then just kind of, it's obviously looking at me, and I can't see in.
Yeah.
So I don't like the feel. I'm finishing up I'm just going to cut it short and get out of there. And the car moves and stops. So now I realize, I could be getting myself into a jackpot here, right? And the car comes around again, and it stops, and out comes a young man. He weighed 120 pounds wet, very well dressed. So I lower my guard. And because he's just very unassuming and just looks like a nice kid. Walks up and goes, excuse me, sir, could I take a photo of your car? So now I'm completely, my defenses are down. I'm like, well, sure, go ahead. And as he's taking a photo of the car, I kind of ask him, I go, why do you want a photo?
Yeah.
He goes, well, because my dad had a car just like this and he just died. And I want a picture of your car. What do you say to that?
Yeah.
I almost want to hand him the keys.
It's yours.
Here's your car, And that's the kind of, and he just gets back in, shakes my hand, drives off. And I just sit there, dumbfounded at what just happened.
Yep.
That's the car.
And that's the power of old classic cars. So when it sees this, immediately the guy thinks of his dad and gets a picture of it. That's a crazy story.
Yeah,
Can we start it up?
Yeah, you want to get in it?
Let's do it, yeah.
You want to drive it? You want to go?
Let's go. Oh yeah, who wears the jacket?
Oh, I'm wearing the jacket, man. Let me put the jacket on. We're going to put this
Put it on
jacket.
through here. Let me help you out.
All right.
Have you ever met Burt Reynolds?
No, never did, and unfortunately, we're not going to get that chance.
There you go, Doc.
All right,
The transformation.
let's put the coat on.
Coat. From Smokey the Bandit 2.
Yeah.
And there's something too about transporting beer is cool, right? It's beer. An elephant.
Yeah, that didn't work.
It doesn't have the same appeal.
That didn't work.
And as a kid too, I watched the movie as a kid. I didn't understand it as a kid. I just knew it was cool cars, hot girl, cool people, cool rigs too. And then you watch it as you get older, as a teen, as an adult, you're like, oh, okay, now I understand the premise of the movie,
Absolutely. Yeah,
bootlegging. Why can't they buy Coors Light? You buy Coors Light at the store.
So what I'm wearing right now is my Halloween costume.
All right.
My wife and I, and I don't know if you're going to show some of these
Yes.
pictures later, but we dressed up as, Bandit and Frog, which is Sally Fields, and she wore a veil, and we went to a Halloween party, and we were the hit of the party.
Yes, you were.
In fact, we were going to valet park. They saw the car, they backed it into the private house, and the car was part of the party.
Everyone's getting their picture.
Everyone's taking a picture of the car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a different sound than a regular Trans Am. Oh, this is a smooth ride.
Oh yeah, no, this is very nice. We got vintage air, so you want some air conditioning?
All right, vintage air.
Vintage air. You got a retro-looking radio, but
Yeah, which is cool.
it's a nice radio. So again, Dakota Digitals, they're original looking, but they're upgraded digitals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dakota Digitals. Obviously, they didn't have LCDs back in the 70s. You can see the LCD.
And your speedometer going to 160, back then I think it went to
probably 80.
80, yeah.
Yeah.
All the emissions back then in the 70s.
Correct.
Dampened all the fun.
So interesting, this car passed the smog.
Really?
That's what I wanted. I told Walter, I go, look, I don't want to worry about the, classic cars, you have a limit of 5,000 miles per year.
Mm-hmm.
It's my daily driver. I want to put 20,000 miles per year. So we got to build this to pass smog. So it's passes smog. It's got a catalytic converter. I mean, it passes legally in the state of Nevada.
So if you have a classic car registered, you can only do 5,000 miles a year?
Correct. So let me show you what 490 horsepowers do.
Let's do it. Woo!
See that?
Yeah, Bandit and Snowman. Perfect.
So for the record, we never exceeded the speed limit, but we got there in a hurry.
Yes, we did. This is an enclosed road, by the way.
Yeah.
This is enclosed.
So-
Yeah. This is not a bad way to spend an afternoon.
No, thank you for coming out, man. I enjoy showing people who truly enjoy cars.
Yeah, this is cool.
You obviously know your cars.
This is a nice one. This thing's got some power. This thing's got some power. Could you hear it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Walter, nice work, buddy. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, well, thank you, Walter. Beautiful, Dr. Alamo. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. This is great. If you want your car, shop, or collection featured on the show, then shoot us an email at carshopsandcollections@gmail.com. That's carshopsandcollections@gmail.com. And thanks for watching, and be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes of Cars, Shops, and Collections.